Berrylicious Bliss. So today we're exploring the joyful journey of growing berries, even in the tiniest of spaces, from luscious strawberries to antioxidant-packed blueberries. We're going to learn how to cultivate your own fruit paradise, whether in a garden bed or a balcony pot. Imagine walking out onto your patio, your balcony, or garden and plucking a ripe, sun-warmed berry straight into your palm. That's the simple magic of growing your own fruit. Before you get stuck into compost bags and watering cans, it's essential to know what types of berries suit your space and lifestyle. So start with easy growers. Strawberries are perhaps the most forgiving, making them perfect for first-timers. They thrive in hanging baskets, window boxes, or shallow pots. And blueberries, though a little bit more particular, reward you with plump, antioxidant-rich gems and gorgeous foliage if you give them acidic soil and a sunny spot. And raspberries, especially dwarf or bush varieties, are ideal for container gardening or small beds, and can even be trained vertically on balconies. So think about the flavors you love and how much maintenance you're willing to do. Some berries spread wildly if unchecked, and while others are tidy and contained. If space is limited, dwarf and compact cultivars are your best friends. Look for tags with names like patio, mini, or bush. These are bred to flourish in pots and smaller gardens. You'll also want to decide whether to grow from seed, bare root plants, or young starters. Starters or plugs give you a head start and are ideal if you're eager for a quicker harvest. Seeds take patience and offer variety, but they can be unpredictable and need more care in early stages. As for location, sun is key. Berries love at least 6 hours of sunlight daily. And don't worry if your space is shaded in the morning or the late afternoon. Just ensure the midday sun reaches your plants. To plan, sketch out your space. Visualize where containers might go or how raised beds could be positioned. Even windowsills and staircases can serve as mini orchards. Add trellises for climbing berries or tiered stands to maximize vertical space. And finally, check your zone. Some berry types are pickier about temperature. Make sure the varieties you choose are suited to your climate to avoid heartbreak after all your nurturing. So getting started is all about choosing berries you love, understanding your space, and preparing your plants for success. Now that you've chosen your berry types and planned your space, it's time to dive into the practical setup. Whether you're working with a spacious garden or a compact balcony, the essentials of light and soil and containers will make all the difference. So start with containers. Terracotta pots, hanging baskets, fabric grow bags, and even upcycled tubs can all serve as berry homes. Just make sure each container has good drainage. Berries hate soggy roots. For strawberries, shallow containers about 6 to 8 inches deep are fine, while blueberries and raspberries – prefer deeper pots around 12 to 18 inches. Next comes soil. This is where your berries feed and anchor, so don't skimp. Use a quality potting mix, preferably organic. Blueberries are a bit fussy. They love acidic soil with a pH between 4.5 and 5.5. You can buy Berrylicious compost or add a handful of sulfur chips to adjust pH. Strawberries and raspberries aren't as picky, but still appreciate rich, loamy mixtures. Lighting is non-negotiable. Berries adore sunlight, so place your containers where they'll get 6 to 8 hours daily. And if you're growing indoors or in a shadowed spot, consider full spectrum grow lights. They're easy to mount under shelves or in corners, and your plants will reward you with better yield. So spacing is another detail many overlook. Even in pots, your berries need breathing room. Avoid overcrowding, especially with strawberries, which can send out runners. And 1 strawberry per pot or every 10 inches in a trough is ideal. Blueberries and dwarf raspberries should be solo in their own medium to large containers. Watering needs vary per plant, and berries like consistent moisture, but not wet feet. Use your finger to check soil moisture daily. And if the top-inch soil feels dry, water. Containers dry out quicker than ground soil, especially in summer. So stay attentive. And finally, think creatively about layout. A tiered plant stand can hold multiple berry pots vertically. Wall-mounted shelves or rail planters can extend your growing space. Even indoor sunny windows can host a strawberry pot with trailing vines hanging down like living decor. You don't need a traditional garden to grow juicy fruit. With the right containers, the soil, and the light, your berries will flourish anywhere you place them. So next we'll talk about care, routines to keep those berries healthy and productive all season long. So once your berry plants are in place, it's all about keeping them happy and thriving. A simple care routine makes all the difference in the quality and quantity of fruit you harvest. And think of this as your daily rhythm of tending and connecting with your fruit patch. So let's begin with watering. Consistency is your best friend. Berries prefer evenly moist soil, never bone dry and never waterlogged. And during hot months or when berries are forming, they need more water, especially in containers which dry out quicker. Try watering early in the morning or just about sunset to minimize evaporation and stress. A good soak once or twice a day, depending on your climate, should do. So now let's look at feeding. Berries are hungry little plants, especially when they're fruiting. You can start with a balanced organic fertilizer once a month or use a liquid feed every 2 weeks during the growing season. And for blueberries, use a fertilizer made for acid-loving plants. A bit of seaweed feed or compost tea also gives them a natural boost. Pruning is important but often overlooked. For strawberries, regularly snip off runners unless you want them to multiply. This focuses on their energy on producing fruit. Raspberries need annual cutting. Remove old canes after fruiting to make room for new growth. And blueberries benefit from thinning out the center to improve airflow and reduce fungal issues. So now let's look at pests. Berries are irresistible, not just to you, but to birds and slugs and aphids too. So netting is your best defense against birds. For slugs, try copper tape around containers or shallow saucers of beer nearby. Aphids can be handled with neem oil spray or simply hosing them off with water. Mulching is another golden tip. Add a layer of straw or bark or even shredded leaves around the base of your plants. It keeps weeds down, conserves moisture, and protects the fruit from soil splashes, especially for strawberries. This keeps them clean and less prone to rot. Keep an eye out for changes. Yellowing leaves, dry edges, or limp stems might indicate nutrient deficiencies or watering issues. So spend 5 minutes each day just observing. This connection with your plants helps spot trouble early. So with a little care and attention, your berry patch can become a thriving sanctuary of abundance. So next we'll explore how and when to harvest your fruit, plus delightful ways to enjoy your berry bounty. There's something utterly joyful about harvesting your own berries. The satisfaction of seeing your care bloom into juicy clusters of fruit is unmatched. But timing, technique, and what you do with them afterwards all play a part in making the most of your berry harvest. So knowing when to pick is crucial. Strawberries should be fully red, firm, and shiny. They don't ripen once picked, so resist the temptation to harvest early. Gently lift the fruit and twist it off with the green cap attached. Blueberries turn from green to a deep blue, but wait a few days after they change color. They sweeten and develop best when left on the bush a little longer. And raspberries, when they pull off the stem easily and feel soft, but not mushy. Harvest in the morning when berries are coolest and most hydrated. Use a shallow basket or container so they don't crush each other. So handle them gently. They bruise easily and don't like sitting in the sun once picked. So if you have more than you can eat straight away, there are easy ways to store them. Don't wash until you're ready to use. Keep strawberries and raspberries in a single layer in the fridge on a paper towel lined tray. And blueberries last longer and can be refrigerated for up to 2 weeks in a breathable container. Freezing is a great option too. So lay berries on a tray to freeze individually before transferring them to a bag or tub. This way they don't clump together. Perfect for smoothies, porridge, or baking. So now let's talk about recipes, because a handful of berries turns breakfast into something special. So scatter them on a yogurt or overnight oats. Mash strawberries with a fork and stir them through a little honey and chia seeds for an instant jam. Blueberries tossed in a salad with goat's cheese or raspberries swirled into a sponge cake batter are easy culinary delights. And for a refreshing treat, freeze berries with mint and lemon slices in ice cube trays, or blend with a splash of water and freeze into lollies. These are lovely ways to extend your berry joy into warm afternoons. And the beauty of growing your own fruit is in both the process and the reward. Harvesting with intention and using what you grow in everyday ways deepens your connection to your food. And that's a delicious step on your balanced path. So next we'll explore small space stories that prove you really can grow fruit anywhere. You don't need a sprawling countryside garden to grow berries. All around the world, urban gardeners and flat dwellers are proving that you can cultivate an abundant berry harvest with just a balcony or a windowsill or a shared courtyard. And these success stories are inspiring reminders that the balanced path to gardening is more about creativity and care than size. Take Mia, for instance, who lives in a third-floor flat in Leeds with no garden. She transformed her tiny balcony into a vertical berry patch. Using hanging baskets and a three-tier shelf, she grows strawberries, dwarf raspberries, and even a container-friendly blueberry bush. By positioning the setup against her sunniest wall, she manages to harvest fresh berries for smoothies every summer. And then there's Marie, a student living in a studio in Manchester without any outdoor space. She turned her kitchen window into a growing zone. Using LED grow lights and a compact self-watering pots, she nurtures strawberries indoors. It's the best feeling seeing red fruit pop against the green, she says, and it adds a beautiful vibe to the flat. Sam and Louise in Brighton took their berry dreams to their communal rooftop. They gathered neighbours to build raised beds using recycled timber and now share the joy of weekly berry picks. It started as a way to get fresh fruit, Louise explained, but now it's a social thing. We swap recipes, and garden tips too. Even in the smallest corners, berries find their way. Ivy, a retiree in Glasgow, grows trailing strawberries in a window box above her sink. Her grandchildren love picking them when they visit, and she adds the rest to her breakfast each morning. So these stories highlight the beauty of adaptable gardening, whether it's stacking pots on a bookshelf, creating a berry border along a driveway, or teaming up with neighbours to use forgotten spaces. There are countless ways to bring fruit into your life. You can start with just one plant, choose a sunny spot, a pot with drainage, and give it your attention. And soon those first flowers will become fruit, and that first bite will taste sweeter than anything shop bought. So your balanced path doesn't need a garden gate. It just needs intention and imagination and care. And with berries at your fingertips, even the smallest space becomes a haven of health and joy.